So we're at 6:30 or 6:31. Let's open our meeting Tuesday, November 12th. And I'll first accept a motion to waive reading of the virtual meeting notice.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
So seconded.
Roll call vote.
Whatever. Sean, aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Marilyn,
Aye.
Aye, Tim.
Norm, aye. Okay, we have minutes. From,
Oh, we got these legal things. Do we know anything about those? That's really good. Oh,
Wait.
no, I meant the notice of public hearings and stuff like that of adjacent towns.
minutes of October 27th.
Oh, guys, I just remembered. So we have to make a modification to the vote from the last time. Because Sean voted to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, but he wasn't at that meeting.
Oh, did I?
The motion, when at the last meeting you approved, voted to approve the October 13th minutes, but you weren't at that meeting, so we're gonna
Yeah,
have
that's right.
retake the vote and have Sean abstain for the October 13th minutes.
Okay. So then let's go back to, do I have a motion to approve the October 13th minutes? Which we already sort of did.
Sort of moved.
I'll second that.
Second. And once again, roll
Dick
call.
Williams, aye.
Tim Norwald, aye.
Marilyn,
Marilyn Sidoti, aye.
Norm, aye.
Sean abstained.
Okay, back to October 27th.
I didn't see on the minutes, so the attorney never got back to us on our questions on Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
That's transmitted to the town council.
And no
A
response.
little bit late on that, so
Okay.
I apologize,
No problem.
but it was not a hearing. It's not a
No,
meeting.
no. We're looking for questions.
Okay, correct.
Trying to expedite.
In
it, that's all.
progress.
No problem.
I could not find anything, so I'm gonna make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
How warm it is out tonight. So nice.
Yes, and I drove by and I think I saw Marilyn out on a porch enjoying the nice and warm evening.
I was,
I'll second.
tonight I was, but I've been dizzy all day, so I can't seem to walk in a straight line.
I have a motion in a second. Is everybody ready in discussion?
Well,
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Dick Williams, aye.
Tim Norwald, aye.
Marilyn,
Aye, Marilyn Sidoti.
Sean,
Say abstain.
Sean,
John? John?
aye.
No, you gotta abstain because he wasn't at the,
No, he doesn't have to abstain. He was at the 27th meeting.
That's-
He missed the October 13th meeting.
well, it says on the
Yeah.
27th at the top, it says board members absent, Sean Moore.
Oh, I apologize. That was a copy and paste error on my part, so I'll fix that before I send him for posting.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
No
Yeah,
problem.
it was the day after the holiday. I
All right.
not to offend anybody, but I had a senior moment.
It's been the last of vote, Norm, aye.
Okay, voted.
Okay, public notices, we have several of them, a couple from Holden, one from Princeton. Any interest to anybody?
No.
It's
the one in
one,
Princeton?
yeah, it's not bad, the Princeton one, yeah, I was kinda interested in that, but I'm glad to see this and read this kind of stuff once in a while.
So, then this is just a curiosity. So Princeton has an agricultural residential zone? Never heard of that before.
Well, so is in Rutland, Rutland
I thought we
resi-
just,
is residential agriculture.
oh,
Well,
I don't think it's
It's
named
not- it's
that.
not.
We do not have an agricultural zone.
no,
It is part of residential, so it's the same thing as this.
Okay, I've never heard it ever called that before. That's the reason why.
just
Just
name
curious.
it.
Okay. Good enough, that's it for me.
Oh, it would be nice if they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
After all, we are a right to farm community.
Absolutely.
A&R's none? Everyone's taking it.
it.
No, this is supposed to be almost a business meeting, wasn't it?
We'll get to that.
That might not be possible after Quinn's report.
Okay, next agenda, Maple Hill Estate subdivision. I don't think we really have anything on Maple Hill.
I didn't see
We don't have
anything.
anything.
No. Okay. Bryce Lemon. We do.
Yeah.
That's the next item. And, we have the Quinn Engineering report on the review of the as-built plans.
It's only half as bad as Bear Hill.
Yeah, it appears, at least from my first couple of looks at it, that virtually everything that was on the ground has been corrected. That's kind of at the end of the report.
His comment, Norm, number 4, is what I was trying to get at. The as-built plans, that the 3 pages that we got were just a street. It didn't have what I was expecting as a third or quarter of the subdivision, which I expected, because we're basically approving that. So I'm glad I don't have to ask Carl that.
I called it,
Oh, you did? And was I right, wrong, or out?
and he said, you know, absolutely it should be as-built for the crossing.
Okay.
And so forth. Now, I'm assuming Clea got a copy of this report. I'm assuming, number one, we haven't heard anything from them. And I don't know, do we let him just take the report as it is, or do we need to further contact him to elucidate somewhat on exactly what we are looking for?
I had a question for Powell, and I was hoping that maybe he might be on, but apparently he's not gonna be. When we were walking around, one of the things I looked at was the top coat of the asphalt
Yeah.
that was laid down. I didn't like it. And this was up near the end of phase 1. Most generally, you find it when they compact it and everything else. It's, you know, it's very fine. It's really thin. The middle 3 feet was like pebbles, like, you know, that had been compacted, but it just didn't look right.
You know, that could have something to do with the fact that it was only a 1-inch layer.
Oh, it's not. There's not enough.
Yeah, 'cause that was
Meat to it.
That was something that Carl definitely said. He
Well-
would recommend upping that to 1.5 inches.
But to
Okay.
me, one of the things I was going to ask Carl is not the top top layer supposed to be a finer ground material at the asphalt plant when they make it?
Yeah, it's finished grade.
Oh, yeah,
basically.
That's great.
as opposed to the base coat, yes.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, it looked more like a base coat than
I don't know. I did not notice it myself.
yeah, it was up near the very end, and gosh. I know when you said this is about where the end of the phase was, and that's, I'm gonna say it was like about 10, 15 feet of it.
Oh, yeah.
It just did not look right.
So Norm, is Carl, based on some of these comments, he's asking for more detailed sheets than with the 3 that was provided?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm good. Because there'll probably be more comments coming out of those sheets. Because he's got 25 comments here of cleanup.
Yeah, and
It's just cleanup, I get it, but
and yeah, say it is. I think almost all of it regarding the plans. Some is just plain, I guess I'll say, other information. You know, number 5 in the overall comments is that been outstanding. Waste some time.
yes.
I am a little bit curious in light of this Jim Callis thing about stuff.
Yeah, because that's after his stamp was gone, so I'm just gonna say it needs to I's dotted, T's crossed, because in his letter, he said he gave his stamp up on the 23rd of 2019, and this is September of the same year. May, June, July, August, that's 5 months later. So, yeah. And then yeah,
Oh, wait a minute.
hold on a sec.
The last sentence in that says, the board should be aware of Mr. Callis' survey license expired in June 2020.
Yeah, but he says here that, oh, I don't know what this means. It says my last billed work was on that date, so he wasn't doing any more work after that. So I get that his stamp is good till June 30th of 2020, but in his letter, he says he hasn't done any more work, so it just,
that's not nice.
yeah, see, that's, it doesn't make, I don't know how to help approach this.
Well, I do.
I guess the question goes to Cleve. We have a letter saying that your
No.
engineer,
We need a legal because of what may happen in this town with that, what you've been reading.
well, I guess I'll ask Dave, has this letter been forwarded? Or did this letter come into the town, or is this just sent to the planning board?
That letter came in, a couple of copies, I believe one went to the select board,
Okay, and it's,
of an issue identified in the letter, and another copy went to the planning board.
okay,
So this is the first distribution that's been had on this since we received it.
then I
So
agree with
now
you,
it's to the
Dave.
public, the planning board, if you action that you'd like, you'd have to just give us a notion as to what that action is.
Norm, to expound on Dick's concern, I think we should send this letter along with Quinn's report and get it's more of how should we proceed?
Proceed, and also just, I just don't want to step on toes. I don't want to be in the middle of anything that could arise from what's going on.
Yeah, it's more of, like I said,
Because
dotting the i's and crossing the t's for the planning board.
Right, because in the letter, he already brought it up. So therefore, I don't want to be part of the legal ramifications.
Would that mean, I'm not a lawyer, but would that mean that all those plans that were stamped are void?
So,
Including
no,
all the work?
that's one of the reasons why we should check on it and make sure.
I haven't noticed Jim Callis' name on it.
Julian's not using it, I know that. He's got somebody else. He's got a mechanical engineer stamping, so. Ah. This deal is, Well, the problem, Norm, is the letter now. I mean,
Yeah, you know, it is, and it's, I guess.
Yeah, the letter puts it out there. So now that it's out there, it needs to be moved on.
And it's, I guess the best I can say is the whole thing is very, very unfortunate. And all I'm gonna say is I'll do the one hand.
correct. Well, here's the other problem from being an engineer.
It's been growing.
These as-built plans that we receive have to be stamped. Any changes have to be stamped by a PE engineer. Any changes made to a drawing have to be re-stamped. They just can't be redrawn and then going off a stamp that's a year or two old. That doesn't work in the engineering world. You have to, when you make a change to a drawing and you've got to re-stamp it. So I know that for a fact because I've gone through it now for 4 months with Eversource.
But that's not what this one's about.
No, but all of these changes, to get the new drawings to get them filed, are gonna have to be re-stamped. So I guess what I'm doing is I'm being proactive and saying we need to make Mr. Blair aware of this.
Vigilant, and see what the plan is.
Yeah,
And check.
yeah. I guess that's the only thing I'd ask for is to Dick's point, send it to KP and just ask them, how should the planning board proceed with this? Because, I mean, this is sort of out of our realm of,
You know, well, it is, and actually after reading Jim Cowell's letter, I'm not sure that all of this is totally clear either.
All the more reason to get it verified and get the legal.
I don't know what they can do.
I do. I think the town council can request.
they'd have to use one of their specialists in their, I guess, building group or engineering group to just make a call.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows, I mean, I apologize. I don't have a PE stamp, so I can't answer this. I just know from the fact of when I'm going through any work that I do that's been stamped by a PE at Eversource, if I change anything, the PE has to review it and restamp it. Any change. I mean, if I change a number on a drawing, it's got to be reviewed and restamped. Can't go out to the field as we call it, issued for construction.
Well, let's just be careful. I would say offhand, you probably are right in the fact that maybe Quinn's as-built review should go with it and and point out the number that you had mentioned there.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, that's our feelings here, that we want to be safe.
Whoa.
Oh, God. Sorry, I interrupted.
Hey, I'm sorry, I just noticed I have my business logo up on the Zoom.
Oh, you do? Yeah, that's probably not good. Okay.
Re-advertising.
Yeah. And honestly, Norm, I don't really want to spend the time going through these comments until Quinn gets a good as-built plan. So,
I'll read.
okay, good. I'm glad. It's like it's good
That
information.
nature at this point.
But I, somehow or other, I would like Carl to know my feeling about that hot top. And I wanted his opinion about it.
Well, you can,
Or should I,
We can have,
I think that'd be a good idea.
he made comments that are resolved back in like 46 to 54 about hot tops. Yeah, and that's all resolved, but we could just ask him again. Just to take a look.
I don't know.
Should we send a letter to Clean Norm asking for as-built? Or have him contact Quinn and get exactly?
Well, that's what I asked a little bit
Okay, the answer is yes.
earlier. Yes.
To have Queen request.
I mean, no, I think
Why
we should
directly?
request Cleve, but we should copy
Basically, to let,
to work with Carl maybe?
as I said earlier, to elucidate, make a little bit more clear exactly what we are looking for in terms of the condition of as-built. In other words, we want an as-built plan showing how the culverts, the walls were actually constructed on the ground.
I mean, wouldn't be easy, I forget, is this 3-phase or 4 phases?
Three.
3. I mean, it's easy, Cleve. We want the first third of the subdivision, everything associated with it for an as-built. It's 4. Is it
5?
A 5, yeah.
5? Okay, we want the first phase of 5. We want everything associated with that because we're approving that plan. Am I wrong?
You know, I don't think so. And you know, I don't know.
I mean, we've seen it before. That's the hard time I got.
I'm trying to think back at it's been a long enough time that my memory isn't good enough to remember, you know, exactly what we did get, for example, on Bear Hill. You know, did we get an as-built of that infiltration dip?
Supposedly.
I don't remember.
Well, it's something that Concom is supposed to be inspecting, aren't they?
The only thing they can inspect it off is the drawings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that something that Peter Crane would know
Not at this point.
Well,
on Bear Hill?
He wasn't on contract with it.
no, he wasn't. Not at that
He
time.
was not chair, but I thought he was on Concom at the time.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Either.
Hey, Peter, were you on Concom when Bear Hill ended with, you know, as-built and that infiltration discharge area where Concom was supposed to keep an eye on it? You involved with it, Pete? Pete, you in the other room? Hi, Pete.
Not to my best recollection.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that all of Bear Hill was done. In fact, I heard about Bear Hill because that was a disaster. The problems that it had afterwards, but I was not part of it.
Yeah, I didn't remember you being on the board then. At that time.
Do you remember what year that was?
2 years ago?
No, it's farther than that.
I would say maybe 3 now.
Maybe 3 years ago then. Yeah, there's an infiltration thing over there that I thought the Concom was supposed to
That's
keep
true.
track.
We did do a compliance while I was
But
there. For that specific.
you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't the as-built show where it is, and then that would reference a page in the back of a plan of as-built that would show the detail for how an infiltrator went in? Isn't that how it's done?
Well, I mean, there's at least.
What's that?
Concom does not get as we work out the original plans that we approved, and that's what has to be.
I mean, there are at least, 3, 4 manholes, one, I think, correct?
Something like that.
Yes.
But if the
There's doghouse with that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But if the infiltrator is a standard infiltrator, it's just put in the street. the same, isn't it? I mean, it's in different locations.
It's
But it-
behind the houses, closer to
Yeah.
the wetland, and that's where the
Okay.
drainage goes through to settle in. And it has to be, I thought, inspected or cleaned every so often, and it.
Yeah, but to Norm's point, the detail of that should be a standard detail
Yes.
for an infiltrator. And I'm okay with that, but I think that should be part of an as-built, is referencing, it'll have, and again, I'm going above, it'll have, it'll have the detail number, and then you go to that detail and look at it. If you want to see how it was put in.
But I don't think as-built are done after the fact of curing. Once something is buried, there's no way to know until where that pipe is, it's daylight.
No, I'm saying he should have a detail for that infiltrator with the original plans, it's the,
Oh, yeah.
and then in the back of the drawings, it'll show how, how it was, the detail of how it's typically put in.
But that infiltrator, that was not in the ground completely.
Oh, yeah,
It was completely in the ground?
completely in the ground, and it is built to fail. It's not watertight.
No.
If too much water comes in, the water literally is supposed to go up out of the top and flow
Just
off
flow off
Okay.
towards the detention pond.
towards the wetland.
Well, just the wetland back towards the pond
I
itself.
guess that makes sense.
Well, again, there should be a standard detail that comes with the as-built. And then what I'm used to is if there's any differences, those are taken care of with notes.
And I presumed it was Concom that was supposed to keep an eye on it, but is it something, somebody else that's supposed to be? Is it DPW or who?
Well, is there any cleaning to the,
That's it.
I don't know enough about them to,
And it's, to me,
It sounds like there's somebody, we need to fund the stormwater plan.
well, that'd be Carl. Carl could answer this almost blindfolded, but I think what we should do
It's
is,
built to be maintained, otherwise it wouldn't matter.
correct. Yeah, it's gotta be, I think, and this is my suggestion, when we get all of this documentation finalized, and we can actually talk about it, I think we should have Carl in just so we're not guessing. Does that make sense? I mean,
well, to keep on Bryce Lemon, yes.
well, just on Bryce Lemon, yeah, that's what I'm
But to
asking.
me,
about.
for crying out loud, because this has been brought up, I don't want this to disappear.
Well, can we put this as an action item to just send an
Action item.
email to the Chief Buckley, and just ask him?
Let me ask a probable question that's going to raise some hackles.
No.
Who owns the property the infiltrators are on?
Private homeowners,
That's what I thought, so the HOA is responsible.
do they have an HOA there?
I don't believe,
You don't think so?
I don't think it's an open space,
Who's this?
Bear Hill.
Their hill.
Well, if it's on their property, they own it. There's no HOA about it.
Yeah.
The person who's on the property, it's theirs.
How is it written up? How is it?
Well, that's a
written
deed question.
up? Well, not only deed, but how did the town write it up? How did we do it? How did, what did Quinn say back then?
I don't remember. Ouch.
We have a situation which will be a side note and needs to be taken care of.
Sometime when we have nothing else to do.
Well, Concom hasn't not much to do. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
so,
My guess is it's probably depicted on the plans as a drainage easement.
Yeah.
Which, that then gives the town access to it, right?
correct.
If he's to the side of the town accepted it, yes.
Yeah, because on the homeowners, it says homeowners shall be responsible for permanent maintenance of all commonly owned water, septic, sewage treatment, drainage, open space, recreational, street, bikeway, and trail facilities. So the storm scepters, if they're on,
Well, you could be talking
Open
also in
space.
street storm scepters or something like that, your catch basins or whatever they call them.
So I'm gonna ask the question differently, who owns the open space in Bear Hill?
I understand it was Clee still retained it, didn't he?
It's not an open space
No,
subdivision.
it's not, okay, so.
I thought, isn't the
Somebody
front,
mentioned- I
oh,
thought I heard that, so.
is Lenny's portion of Bear Hill? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong place. Sorry, I'm thinking of the east and west. Bear Hill's the farther back one. Yep.
Oh, you were at Brunel.
Yeah, Brunel east. That's Lenny's.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's move something here.
Well,
We'll try to get Carl. I think Carl should step in as far as, on that,
On what?
on Bear Hill, just to keep everybody, including myself, happy. Who's taking care of the storm interceptors and who's responsible?
I personally, since the town owns the property now, or the town takes care of the street, I'd just send an email to Chief Buckley and ask him, hey, there's storm scepters in Bear Hill. Are you handling those? If he says no, then it's a bigger question.
Well, the bigger question is how was it written up? How was it written up on the plan or deeds or whatever?
We'd have to go to the books and look.
My guess is there's no details on who is responsible for maintaining it. There might be something in law that says just because of property owners. But I'm sure we don't have a document that's gonna say X, Y, Z is responsible for maintaining it.
Yeah, because I don't remember the orders of condition mention anything of that.
Well, I got a vague in the back of my mind something about it, and then
All right.
and that's one of the reasons why I thought Concom was part of it and DPW.
I don't either think it's even gonna be reasonable to expect Carl to remember too much about that.
No, that's why I say I'd probably ask the chief first off. I mean, maybe he's maintaining them now, and we just don't know that.
Well,
Maybe he doesn't know he should be maintaining them.
I would more think that. Number two, I don't believe it is supposed to be a frequent maintenance. It's probably, once every 10 years, 20 years, something on this idea.
I think it's
More of an
something like that.
inspection than anything else. So,
All right. Well, I just don't want to see this slip by. Thank you, Peter.
All right.
okay.
Tamika, make sure you have that in the minutes.
Yes, I do have it in the minutes, but more specifically, are you going to reach out to Joe or are we leaving it open-ended right now?
I think Joe might be the first one to contact, just to see if he's aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
He
thinking.
may not even know,
Yeah, we're gonna help him now.
so
There might be that look on his face.
why don't we start there?
Please make a notation in the minutes.
Sure will.
Okay, let's go back to, letter to Blair. We want to send a letter to Blair detailing what we want for.
He's on this call right now.
Hmm?
He's part of this meeting right
He's
now.
part of the meeting right
Yep.
now. Well, are you listening, Clay?
I am. I just joined.
Okay,
It's a shot at what time you guys will be talking about me.
okay. Oh, what am I looking for here? Okay, do you have Quinn's report?
I haven't had a chance to read through it, but I do have it. Yes, I got it the other day.
Okay, under, what we've been talking mostly about is under overall comments. It's on page 2. Item number 2.
Can you put it up on? It's up on the screen, so I'm trying to
Oh,
read it right now. And
There it is.
okay, there it is, right there. It says the as-built plan should reflect the actual dimensions and construction-related information of the pump stations arch culvert in Sedona Circle and the culvert crossing Woodside Ave. Currently, it says these items are depicted in a very general manner on the as-built plans. What I believe we are expecting would be a detail sheet for each one of those.
Okay. What, I can, we're doing that for the pump stations, just so you know. We're in the process of that. Joe asked for that for the pump stations a while back, and we're in the process of providing that.
Mhm.
What specifically are you looking for the arch culverts and the, I mean, basically, one of them is just a pipe.
It's just, I guess, as much as anything to confirm where it is. So somebody can go out there with a tape measure and say, oh yeah, here is exactly where it is by taking a measurement from the plan. You know,
Those are scaled drawings, by the way. This is Julian.
yeah,
You look at the roads, there's, from the bounds, you can scale down. I mean, we could add numbers, but at what point does the plan get so covered with numbers that you can't see what's going on? But we could add
now
that
that's why a separate detail.
of how will that show you where it is on the ground if it's not in the roadway? Are you looking for the actual specifics to the pipe itself that you can get from Contact, Clee? Just get a pipe detail.
You know, something to make sure that it can be exactly located very easily.
We can give a station of the center line on the road, and I'll give a station. I know what we can do.
We'll add that in.
We'll add that.
Has he answered us well enough? I'm not thinking yes.
No, Clee, what, I guess my expectations when I looked at those as-built plans was I was looking for 20% of this subdivision plans, you know, the first 20% of the entire subdivision plans to be as-built, and we send that to Carl. We just got basically 3 plans of the road. And I mean, we were from the planning board's perspective, I was looking for the first 20% of the subdivision for an as-built. So we have a complete set of phase 1's drawings complete. And I didn't seem to see that in those 3 drawings. I saw basically as-built for the road, and that was it.
Well, that's what we're supposed to provide. I mean, you don't want to have all the things on there that you want to have. What's on the ground, what's supposed to be built, what's in where it is. So in other words, where the inverts are, how deep they are. So Joe,
In the right of way.
right? Oops, it's only in the right of way that we're talking about.
Well, when would we get as-built plans of the subdivision? At the end?
No, you have them. Those are what's normally provided. I don't know. I mean, they're exactly what we provided on Bear Hill. The same overall guideline that you provided as-built by. I mean, the plans, you have the plans. So what you're really looking for in an as-built is what is on the ground. How thick the pavement is, where the berm is, where the bounds are, what's under the ground, how deep the inverts are, where the water shutoffs are, where the, stuff, so that if the town has to go back, they can find the stuff that they need to find by looking at that as-built. That's what
I'm thinking in a way and saying is, something goes wrong with that culvert on Sedona Circle. Joe Buckley should be able to pull out the set of plans, and there should be a separate detail of that, not just part of the whole as-built.
Oh, so we can replace it if he has to.
A separate
Yeah.
detail, blown up, bigger than life.
I mean, I can give you that. I just don't want you to think that's anything that we would normally think to provide. I mean, the plans are there.
But didn't you, Clee, again, I remember on the original plans, when we were doing Bryce Lemon, you guys had circled the culvert crossings on the road, and sent those to a detail, if I remember right, Norm. And because
Yeah,
it was a circle, and then that went to a detail for that culvert crossing on the road. Do you remember that?
We have
Okay.
structural drawings of it.
Maybe that's what it was. I just remember that, and I think that what Norm's trying to get to, if that section of the culvert have a detail for that, so it's basically like a detail sheet for that section. So if Joe's got to replace it, he can pull that detail out and say replace it. I think that's what. Isn't that
I mean,
number two?
I have the plans, and it's built to the plan. I can give you, I can put those as part of it. I've not done that before, but I'm happy to give you what you want. I just want to make sure that,
Is this something maybe we should ask Carl?
Well,
I don't want to make them do anything they don't have to, but if Carl needs it, then let's put it on there.
Carl is pretty bluntly saying he doesn't have enough information. So he's the one you gotta satisfy.
you know what he's looking for, Julian?
Yeah. Yes, you're gonna give them the shop drawing of the pipe from contact, and I'm gonna give a station in the road, station number of where this thing's located, so that in the event of an earthquake, they can pinpoint right where that thing is.
All right. I mean, I can. Is that?
So the
is
shop,
that
you
good?
have the shop drawings,
I have everything. Sure.
right? So we'll just attach them.
Okay.
There's no other detail I can give other than in the road profile, it shows in the road profile the station that thing exists, and on the plan view, it shows it from a plan site. So now the details of the structure itself are in the shop drawing. So just provide that as part of the package.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds okay to me.
Is that good, guys?
I think so.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Okay. We're in.
We'll see what Carl said
Okay.
when he gets. Okay, regarding the rest of Kyle Hulkran's review on this, obviously he picked out a whole pile of things that he does want to see on the plans. We're not going to go over them in any detail today. I'm sure you can work with him and
That's
Well,
us
looks
next
good.
time.
get those taken care of.
I just want you to know, number 4, we did provide that as-built information for the offsite.
So, Clee, did you provide that to Joe?
Yep, I did.
All right, so that's just a simple email from Joe. I've got it. Get that to Carl, and he checked it off as resolved from DPW.
Dave, is that something you'd be willing to do? Just email Joe on that number 4.
Yeah, do that.
I have an issue with number 5. I do, because originally, Norm, you said you wanted something from a structural engineer saying that it met DOT standards. I actually had to redesign it because the original design didn't meet Mass DOT standards. I provided you with those.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about in the plans. This says the retaining wall. The retaining wall, when you first come in on Woodside from Sharnak, I did provide that from a structural engineer that said it was built according to the design plan, from the guy who designed it. He did an inspection and he said it was built according to the plan. But I provided what I believe I was supposed to provide from Mike Maroney. He certified that they were either built or designed. I'm pretty sure it's built to the specifications of Mass DOT, so that you guys would get money. You know, the DOT would, fix them or provide the money to fix them if they, in 20 years or 30 years if something happens. You know what I mean?
Do we need to send that to Carl, or do we?
I did,
Okay.
but I'll send it to him again.
What he said was a certification that it was designed.
By a
I
structural.
was asking for was it constructed?
Yeah. So what Carl's looking for is the sign off of design was done, no problem,
Right.
but it was built to those plans.
Right.
So I would have had to have someone inspect it.
Correct.
And I didn't know that that would need to be provided at the time, so now, I mean, I guess the guy can come out and take a look, but I did that specifically on the wall because I thought I had to, I knew I had to, but it's not clear, reading that same condition that he's citing, and I know what it is, I forgot, I think it's number 29 there. Yeah, it is, number 29. He says the retaining walls at Woodside Ave Crossing and Sedona Crossing were constructed per the design. I didn't get that. That's all part of the same, you know, those two culverts. I'm gonna argue with him about, but it's ultimately gonna be your decision. I mean, we built them according to design, obviously, but we provided the letter that you guys are looking for. That's all I have. I don't have anything else. Where'd you go?
We're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, but I lost the picture and everything. What the hell did I do here?
No, we still see you.
Huh.
Anyway.
This is just a question on Carl. I get what he's saying. He's saying, okay, it was stamped as a design, but now I want a certification that it was built to the design by a structural engineer.
It's kind of interesting because he has used a little bit different language there. He said would have recommended. As opposed to, no, items on the plan must be labeled, should reflect. Okay, certifications must be submitted. So, maybe we're getting into semantics, but
I guess we just need to ask him, is there a mass general law that we needed, or is it just it's good engineering practice? I guess that's what I'm getting at. There's two different things, good engineering practice and required by law.
should not require. Anyway,
I'm just gonna have a little trouble getting a guy certified that it was built according to his design if he didn't inspect it. And I didn't know I had to have that inspected. I knew I had to have the retaining wall inspected, and I provided that.
Yeah.
These are all part of one big thing.
now, see if you can find someone.
I'll call Mike Maroney. I mean, he'll probably he'd have to come out and look at it and make sure, but, you know,
All right.
I'll see what I can do.
Mike's got a structural PE, so
He's a stamp, yeah.
yeah, he's got a structural PE stamp.
Okay, might not turn out to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is where we want to go, or do we want to?
yeah, I'm not interested in going through each and every one of these things.
We'll just answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just write, you know, I'll have Carl send me the Word document, and we'll just answer underneath.
Should we be number 7?
I'm just, yeah,
I just want to be transparent with Clea.
yeah. Do you have any information regarding this number 7 up on the screen right now?
Well, I mean, certification has been provided, signed by Jim, dated September 19th, 2019. But his license expired in June of 2020, so that's fine.
Now,
Those
Clea,
were
do
done by
you
summer.
have Jim's letter from October 12th?
Which one?
The one that says he's not doing any work or billable work after April 23rd of 2019. He's not signing anything after April 23rd.
No billable.
Well, he said, I made a conscious decision to purge myself from any financial aspects of my civil engineering of land. My last billable work was on that date.
He didn't bill me for it, that's all. But he can still stamp it, Tim.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That was for the Board of Registration, by the way, and you got the big letter from Jim on that whole situation.
By the way, COVID extended his thing till November of this year.
He did not bill you for that.
No, I haven't got a bill from Jim and.
Just read it.
Yeah, but Clee goes on to say, since then, any work has had its limitations, is for my personal pleasure, including camaraderie and trying to keep my head on.
Exactly. So that's why he did that.
He comes into the office and shoots the shit with us, and if there's a couple things that needed to be stamped, he stamped them. That's all. I mean, it's legal, it's fine. I mean, you guys know Jim for a long time. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, no, Clee, I'm not questioning his ability to do any work. Don't ever.
Oh, I know.
Never. I'm just trying to see that, I don't know what I'm trying. I'm just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's, and I don't want, because the problem is this letter's out there. So, how's it interpreted?
He was fully licensed till July 1st, well, June 30th of 2020. He let his license lapse, expired, retired this last year. COVID has extended it till sometime in November. So anything done before July 1st is completely, actually, even tomorrow he can look at something and stamp it because of COVID, but he chose not to. He said July 1st was his retirement day of 2020. Anything before that holds his Massachusetts license. So that's why this certification was done last year after they were installed and inspected, but before they were inspected by Kyle. That's how they got all signed off last year. So, but as of July 1st of 2020, you won't see Jim Calix name or stamp on anything.
Well, then I'm going to ask the question. These drawings that are getting changed have to be re-stamped. So, who's going to do that?
Douglas Best, P.E. Douglas Best. I have him. He has been reviewing and working on these drawings since we started the as-bills.
Does he do those?
Yeah, but he can't sign as a land surveyor.
No,
Not surveyor.
land surveyor is Bruce Wilson,
Okay.
and the PE is Doug Best.
And
And that's who his names you're going to see for a long time while I'm still breathing, from this point on.
and that's a mechanical engineer stamp, correct?
That's a professional engineer with his education is a mechanical.
Actually, each PE has a specific stamp associated with it, if I'm not mistaken. You take different tests for PEs. You don't take a general PE test in the state of Massachusetts.
He's a professional engineer, and he is competent in doing this type of work. That's allowed.
I get
He's
that.
been doing it, and yes, he is a mechanical engineer, but
And
he's
that's
been
a
doing
stamp.
this for 25
Again,
years.
I'm going to ask one simple question. Is his stamp a mechanical engineer or is it a civil engineer?
It's a professional engineer
No,
with mechanical on it.
Julian,
He's a professional engineer.
you're not hearing me. Each
I am hearing
stamp.
you. Look at the stamp. It says professional engineer, mechanical. Both of them
Thank-
are on it. Look
Did I
at
just
it.
ask that question? You didn't answer. You kept telling me PE. You didn't say mechanical. That's what I asked for.
Okay, read
God
look at the
bless
stamp. You've seen it. It's
Well,
got both. So he's extra good.
But the point is that is he can he stamp those? I think he can, but
No, you know he can. Don't say you think he can. You know he can.
I know he can stamp them, but we have to, show that to whoever. If there's someone complaining about that, guys, or
Call the Board of Registration if you got a problem with it. Knock yourself out.
he's stamped a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Moose Crossing, Sunset Ridge, the one on Main Street.
I just
Maple
asked
Hill.
a question. Wasn't accusing anybody or anything. I just asked a
Well, it
question.
just seems that
Yeah.
way. So
But, he's a mechanical.
That's all I asked. I
There's
didn't.
mechanical on his stamp.
Okay, move on.
Are we then still thinking about doing what we were gonna do on the Jim Callan thing?
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah,
No.
no.
okay. I just wanna
I would take that
make sure that that is clear,
off the table.
that is our, sending anything to legal review regarding that matter is,
Off the table.
okay.
All right.
Okay, I don't think we have anything else on Bryce Lemon. Like I say, this
No.
is, as far as I'm concerned, all of this stuff is left for Carl and Julian or whoever to
Work it out.
hash it out, work it out, and get a nice brand spanking new fresh set of plans to us.
Yep, and then we'll email Joe about the as-built for the off-water and sewer. Cool, all right, good.
Well, I have a question for you real quick on Maple Hill. Did you guys already talk about Maple Hill?
We had nothing. so
We had nothing on it. We'll answer what we can.
Well, the only thing I want to know is last week you said you were concerned about the notary stamp, and MRA said that only one signature has to be notarized.
Yeah,
Did you sign it?
I think we did.
I have, to work on that. I apologize for the delay on this. I have to swap out page 1 with the edits that were made with what's currently there. The edits are minor. So I
Right,
apologize for the delay on that. Once that's assembled, then the packet will be brought to the town clerk's office and left for you folks to sign.
Norm, you're the only one's got to sign that, correct? You just have to sign that one?
The only
No.
signature that has to be notarized is one signature, the planning board chair. The other signatures are required, but they don't have to be notarized.
Okay, and we've already signed
Because
it.
there are space for 5.
hearing aids on the bed.
It hasn't been signed yet because of the
Oh, the change. Okay.
changes.
Okay.
Well, I would ask this. I mean, you guys have done this in the past. Why not? Sign. All he's got to do is the signature page isn't going to change. He's just got to swap out page 1 on the document, and then we can record it. I mean, it's just better to get that in place. You know what I mean? Bank's already signed it. I already signed it. It's just waiting on you guys.
We should certainly be able to take care of that this week.
Okay. Just if Dave could just let me know, and then I can pick it up.
I will do.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay. Onward and upward.
we're all past 7.
We're all done with 7. Okay, number 8 is revision to subdivision regulations, including monuments, follow-up review, and so forth.
Clea, I think that's it for you.
Hey, you try to get rid of me, Tim?
No, you stay as long as you want. I just don't want you to hang around because we don't have anything else on the agenda for you.
I appreciate it. No, I was. What are you trying to? I was wondering what you were gonna change on the regulations. That's all.
Oh, stick around,
Well,
yeah.
then stick around a little bit,
Please do.
and the only one that we have done anything significant with at this point is boundary markers. We're going to modify our requirements such that all corners of the lots, either in A&Rs or subdivisions, are going to have permanent marks.
Wow, that's a lot of survey guys. Is that,
Yep.
wow.
That's wonderful.
Thanks, Julian.
The way it stands now, for the bounds that we now require, those are not gonna change. Those are gonna be the concrete or granite, whichever they use, and I guess it's concrete bounds. And the lot line bounds on the corners are going to be a minimum 1-inch diameter steel rod.
1 inch diameter, and that's, what do you mean by iron pipe there?
Not a pipe,
Not a pipe, solid
solid
steel.
1-inch diameter steel rod.
Okay, thank you.
How long is that, 3 feet?
I don't know if we have adjusted that yet.
How about railroad spikes?
No.
No,
Too short.
much too short. Do we have the language that we talked about?
Monuments at all other locations.
It's up here.
Corner lot shall
There it
be
is.
minimum
It's up
1
here.
inch diameter rods driven or drilled 3 feet into the ground.
Yep, 36 inches.
What's the reason?
Just a 1-inch re-rod is quite difficult to get. A 1 inch. If you go 3/4 inch, I would support that. But a 1 inch is that's a big heavy piece of steel that
Yeah.
I think.
I think
And
that's standard
why we-
reverb.
Typically we're using like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, typically. Which 3/4 inch is well more than enough. That's going to last about 150 years or more. 1 inch is gigantic.
Right.
That's a little difficult in practicality. Just throwing it out there. You might want to talk to some other people who do this and see if they have a idea on the rod that they typically use.
Most hold.
I don't know. I don't think you're gonna change my mind on it.
Mine either. After all, I've heard too many comments over the years about not finding the bounds, so I want to make sure people can find their bounds.
It's because their neighbors pull them out.
Yeah, well, they ain't pulling out a 36 inch, 1 inch rod, I can tell you that. Unless they're a big boy.
Someone up on Bear Hill pulled out one of the concrete bounds.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
No, they did.
He didn't do it. Well, I want to meet this guy.
Dug it out.
Oh, he dug it out. Okay, so. Wow.
Yeah. He get tired of mowing around it.
Pulled it out. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't we have a civil fine for that?
They might.
This is the only one we really got written up right now. The rest are just discussion points we're gonna have.
So there's something that needs to be changed there because the second paragraph,
Yep.
drill hole and iron pipe, that language is still in
What do you want it to be?
there. No.
Hey, can I make a suggestion?
What?
Wipe out the islands and the cul-de-sacs when you're changing this.
Oh, we already, that's already on the agenda.
That's on the agenda. We just haven't
Did you guys get my submission?
gotten that far. Yes, and
Okay.
just a quick note on that one. We're planning, I think, on moving forward with it, to set a public hearing date soon.
Yeah.
One of the things that we are going to have is a corrected sheets for all of the sheets in the approved plan that do show an island. I don't know how many pages that is, but at least on the set of topo plans, they're shown on several different pages.
So you guys are making Julian's day over here. Okay. All right, well,
Thank you.
make that,
Bill.
Oh,
I guess make that a condition. I'm happy to do that, and that's not.
Dave was saying that we also need the envelopes to send out the notices.
I told Karen that. I don't know why she didn't do that. I think we just made a mistake. We'll get the envelopes.
And I'm assuming you want this waiver to go for all of the,
We did it for all. Yep, I wrote it up for all of them.
Fine.
and just another note, there are cul-de-sacs in Brittenell Estates, aren't there?
Yes,
So
And
why
they
don't we get,
probably show islands.
I'm sure they do.
So I would suggest that you might want to start a process before you start doing anything on Brittenell Estates to get rid of them too.
I'm with you. I will. Okay. Yeah, before there's a lot of people there when you have. then
There
have
you
all-
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
where the heck is that?
Hmm.
Sent, I sent.
Gee, I wonder about Noble Hill.
Same thing. It's
Uh-huh.
all the same.
See?
So back to this, was there something that you want to change on this, on the second paragraph?
Okay. Right post. Well, let me see. 3. I don't know what 3 fee are.
Where's that?
First line, granite post 3 fee 6 inches.
Oh, that should be feet, yeah.
Yes.
I'm just not seeing it on here.
Go on the first one, or the second paragraph,
Yeah.
David, go all the way to the end, just before the 6. There should be a T there.
Okay. Got it.
Unless we're gonna charge them for every time they put in a post.
The fee, yeah, okay.
Developer. It's a $3,000 fine.
And the rest of it, okay with the iron pipe reference?
No.
No.
And iron rod.
Iron rod reference, okay.
Pipe holds water
Yeah, and rods.
and rots
Yeah.
fast.
We could put stainless on there and see. I'm
Yeah, I was
okay
gonna
with-
say we can make it stainless steel rod.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Aren't we creating lightning rods? We put a bunch of steel rods out there?
No, we're creating ground rods, not lightning rods.
Right.
Ground rods.
Start looking at all your backhoes and excavators and look at all the nice rods you could cut off and put in the,
Yeah.
All right.
ground.
Okay.
There's the rest of it, on the other page here.
Okay, no. Still want to go back to that top part. There's something that's not clear. The last sentence says where exposed ledge prevents, and I take out the word exposed
Yeah, just ledge.
because
Yeah,
maybe the ledge is only 6 inches below grade.
Your ledge. Strike exposed,
Yeah.
okay.
So it said.
Because
may
if they get down a
approve
foot,
use-
Norm, and there's ledge, then we can go to that last that last sentence and say, then you can drill a hole and put in an iron rod.
Yeah, but it's not specifying how deep the drill hole is. I think 3 feet there would be a little excessive.
If
Yeah.
it's ledge.
Maybe a foot?
Yeah,
I'll go on for a foot.
and then concrete it in. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well,
You know what really pisses people off is the bounds in their driveways. You just should change that to be a what do they call it, railroad spike like we do now.
their property line boundary is not gonna be in the middle of their driveway.
No, but a lot of times we're talking about plantings, right?
I'm in a meeting.
Say it again, Clea, I'm sorry.
A lot of times property line, bounds that you have to put in for the subdivision, they end up in somebody's driveway, right? And Carl let us this time, or Joe, one of them, put in railroad spikes. if they're in a driveway. I mean,
That has.
I'd like a little placard that says Rutland.
Yeah, right. Now, that has been pretty much standard.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but that's not for, oh, wait a minute.
No, yeah, go back.
No. We're missing something totally here. There's nothing about specifically saying that the corners of all lots.
Well, it says monuments at all other locations, e.g. rear lot corners, shall be a minimum. So e.g. is example. Should we, instead of put rear there, put lot corners, get rid of the rear? And then that would basically,
I feel there needs to be a statement that monuments are required at lot corners. Followed by,
what other locations would, other than lot corners, would there be a monument required at? Any other
you gotta put them on easements.
easements?
yeah.
Like, you put them on easements and then you put them, whenever there's a turn or a corner or something like that, you have to.
Could you take that third line, Norm, put monuments at all other locations, including lot corners, shall be a minimum? Just put the word including lot corners?
No, you messed that up, because you should just put it as lot corner, because otherwise you're gonna mess up where the bounds go now, because it'll be confusing.
So,
So just specifically say lot corners you want with a 1-inch diameter rod, which is a whole lot of money and a whole lot of work.
well, to be perfectly honest with you, and I guess, I'm just kind of, old fashioned. I want to walk the land. I find it hard to believe people are going to buy a piece of property, spend, I don't know, $80,000-$90,000 for a lot of land, and not even know where their boundaries are.
You haven't met the new generation, Norm.
Wow.
I don't agree with them. I'm just saying you haven't met the new generation.
No, that scares me.
Yeah.
I don't think of all the 3,000 houses I've sold, I don't think I've ever done this. So, there are a lot of people.
We used to have you guys do it a long time ago. I can remember your father used to be all upset about putting bounds in too. So
Bounds, yeah. Lot corners we've never marked.
yeah.
Well, mine, when mine got put in, and this is 97, Jim and Mark both marked all bounds on all those properties that he bought from those 5 lots over on Palmagussit. All those were marked off.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys required it back then, or if the building inspector, if Harry required it, but they were all marked
Well,
off. And to
thinking-
Julian's point, they were 3/4 inch.
Way back when I first was on planning board, I can remember they used to put bounds in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So should we go with another line below, or
Yeah.
in between 2 and 3 paragraph, and to specifically call out between paragraph 2 and 3, monuments are required on all lot corners and shall be a minimum 1-inch diameter rod driven or drilled 3 feet into the ground.
I think we can start that third paragraph, just like the first paragraph started. Monuments shall be installed in all lot corners
Oh, okay.
and shall be blah, blah, blah.
All right, I'm good with that.
So one more time, so monuments shall be installed at all lot corners, goes between 2 and 3,
Yeah,
what's the rest of it?
Just see where on the third paragraph?
Yeah.
After the parentheses shall be a minimum 1-inch diameter rod and rod driven or drilled 3 feet, that's the end of the sentence.
So add shall be a minimum 1-inch diameter.
Yeah.
and the last sentence in the second paragraph should probably be moved down to after that, because that ledge refers to all monuments.
Yeah. So it should stand by itself, Norm? Should have that should be its own sort of paragraph?
I think so.
I agree with you on that, because then that would preclude all, or that would include all paragraphs above it. Yeah, I agree with
So
you.
what do you say, then the second paragraph?
The last sentence.
Just the last sentence is the second.
Is removed, it stands alone by itself.
Between the no permanent and the one that we just put in. So it basically, that sentence by itself would include everything above it.
So after paragraph 4,
Yeah. That's my thought.
after,
I'm starting to have trouble keeping track.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we've got the first paragraph. The second paragraph is on the post. The third paragraph is the one we've got. The fourth paragraph says monument shall be installed at all lot corners and shall be a minimum of 1 inch diameter iron rod driven or drilled 3 foot into the ground. That's paragraph 4. And then paragraph 5 would be that where exposed ledge prevents the installation of such monuments, the board shall approve a drilled hole or iron rod for specific locations only. And then the sixth paragraph is no permanent monument shall be installed until all construction that could destroy or disturb the monuments is completed.
okay, I'll write it up and we can circulate it again, then check it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Under this one with the drill hole, you're gonna look to specify a length,
1 inch.
1 inch.
1 foot.
1 foot drill hole.
1 foot.
Yes.
A 1 foot drill hole?
If you got ledge. If you get ledge, Clee, we're not gonna tell you to go 3 foot into the ledge, we're only gonna tell you to go 12 inches into the ledge.
Usually you just drill a drill hole, no?
How do you do that? A foot, you're gonna have to get a,
You
what are
just have
they,
to blast.
the ledge blasters in there for a 1 foot.
Usually just drill a
Usually
hole.
they're about an inch deep. I've
Yeah,
never seen a one foot hole, drill hole.
You can't drill a 1 foot hole.
You would need a Hilti. If that's what you're requiring, that's pretty serious.
No, normally you just drill it, you just put a drill hole in the top like you would in the top of a concrete mound.
Which is about 3/4 of an inch deep. That's a typical. I'd say if you go an inch, that's one thing. But a foot, that's serious.
May approve use of a drill hole and a 1 foot iron rod.
Oh, I
So
see.
you have to drill deep enough to fix the iron rod in
Yeah, okay. So if it
Okay,
goes
so you
down,
want
if it
that
goes
iron
down,
rod. I got you. Okay.
yeah. I'm okay with that.
So the iron rod is the 1 foot part.
there. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Norma, I'm trying to find the email I
This
sent
is-
you, Dave. Well, this is the business meeting we wanted.
Well,
to
yes,
Yeah,
it is,
it
but
is.
it's just amazing how long it takes just to
Get one.
wheedle through one, what should be a pretty damn simple thing.
Yeah, we thought that on a lot of things and had to go back and fix them.
By the way, Sean, Marilyn, haven't heard from you in a while. Any comments?
The comment that I would make is I tend to agree with that the 3 foot, driven into the ledge is excessive.
Even the
We're
one.
only requiring a 1 foot rod in the ledge. So. Yeah,
I'm fine out. If you can do it, do it. If not, I mean, you don't need to go out there blasting, like you said.
No, you don't want to blast.
Well, again,
to separate the rod.
if there's a,
they don't have to.
no,
Yeah, I mean, let's not overkill it here.
1 inch. To Julian's point, you get Hilti to do that, but again, we give the option. The board may approve. So if there's a question, come to the board on it.
I suppose.
Yeah. That's fine.
I like that.
Play the folding trap rock. See how
They use a water
Laser.
drill, not a high pressure water drill. That's how they get through granite. High pressure water.
Does it?
Yeah, that's how they cut granite.
Wow.
Damn, I can't find Dave where I sent you my email with all the topics for tonight.
I tried to incorporate it on there somewhat.
Okay.
You'll see it on there.
It goes up and I'll start looking at steel cylinder rod stock. I used to buy it a long time ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is nowadays.
It's probably more expensive than regular.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it wasn't always that bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just remembered, on the revision discussion, we're looking to have the road for phase 5 to be brought into this revision,
Oh,
because that's a change.
phase 3.
Phase 3. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Clea, you still there?
I am.
Now, you're doing some changes in phase 3 on the roadway.
Yes.
Do you want
Yeah.
to include those changes in part of this public hearing?
Well, yes, I'm gonna come in, if I can do it in 2 phases, yeah, I gotta try to fix that underground storage area. We were gonna do it all at once, but yeah, I mean, I might as well, I don't know, Julian's, if he's still listening there, if he's prepared to just give you the, excuse me, it's past my bedtime, just give you the, the part of the road that we moved over. It looks a whole lot better where it is.
Yeah, that's no problem because we've got it drawn for how they built it, so I can get that to you, Clee. Very
All right,
easy.
so we'll make that part of it. I don't know that it would require a public hearing, but if we're having one, we might as well do it that way.
Just so you guys know, the grades didn't change elevation-wise. It's just the alignment coming down that hill. It's really close to what it was. So
So it
All right.
moves sideways, right?
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
It
If
got
you move
the,
the
it
ro-
was like a hairpin
We gotta.
in there that got straightened out.
It's
If
still
you
within
move
the
it-
easement that was there.
It's not a field change, Norm.
I don't think we can think of that as a field. Because you must have moved, road, you must have moved utilities and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we moved all the utilities. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Let's just do it the right way and get it.
do it, and if we can do it all in one fierce swoop here with all of this, so much the better.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, I think for now we're done with monuments.
Yeah.
Uh,
The rest are all just gonna be discussions about stuff.
So,
Now I'm bailing. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks. Have a good evening.
All I gotta do is figure out how. Oh, there it is. Leave.
okay. Let me see.
Town center study.
Oh, okay, we skipped that. No, we didn't.
No, we 8 was just to go over.
Oh, okay.
We still got to talk business meeting of all the subdivision topics. We haven't got to that one yet.
So town center study is in the packet with charts and graphs and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I didn't see any surprises.
I did. Only 280 people out of 9,000.
Well,
I guess.
you know,
Well, did they do mail-ins?
Yes, we mailed it to select businesses in the 56 and 122 area.
Okay, great.
As you can see here, we are looking to extend the survey to Thanksgiving weekend, try to get a greater number of people to participate. It's been distributed in paper copies at the senior center, paper copies in the library. We're going to do another follow-up on the town's website put the second blast, if you will, and distribute it through the town's news piece on the website. And what you have there are the preliminary survey results based upon the first go around.
So just because I'm a visual person, on the, what is your favorite aspect of the Rutland Town Center? Are everything in this circle answers that came in?
Not following you, where you?
This thing right here,
Yeah.
is everything in there the answers that came in?
Yes.
That's
What you have is a word cloud which weights the responses
Oh,
based
I've
upon
never seen this.
topics.
Uh-huh.
So you'll see that town was referenced a lot in the survey
Yeah.
results. So as a weighting of the number of references, you get the size that corresponds to it as a word cloud.
Okay.
Because it's a visual representation of the survey results based upon the key terms.
Small town feel, busy feel, cool, church, common, quiet. Quiet. That's interesting. Community, rural.
I'm a little curious about the page before it. Because I'm assuming that circle graph, what was in color?
It was on the original version. I don't have access to a color print, so I apologize for that.
What? You have a color print? The previous town administrator didn't buy a color print. Jesus. Paid him $100.
I am just kind of curious what the percentages really were.
Well, the 35 was more than 20 years, I believe.
Well, I can tell you that 18.1 is 6 to 10 years. 18% is 6 to 10.
Right.
I'm guessing 35.8. I'm guessing that's more than 20 if I'm reading this darkness.
That's what he told us. That's what Gabe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And those are the people we love because the kids are going through school and we're still getting money out of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, like I say, the biographs, you know.
Duncan's is actually one of the least favorite aspects of town of Rutland. That's pretty big.
It's the traffic that they cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that, Norm, in the lower right-hand corner, Palmagussit. I guess I'm not feeling loved. On the traffic one, down in the lower right-hand side, it's Palmagussit. Just not feeling the love. All right, what else was there?
Well,
Well,
someday
I've
you'll
been,
actually get Palmagussit fixed up.
Hopefully in a year or two, if I remember the money stream correctly, but we shall see.
nah, probably not. I'm probably gonna say maybe 5 to 10 years.
That was said 5 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, because they're not gonna put a dam. They're not gonna put a dam in there with there's a lot of fights gonna go on. You want a causeway?
Park space.
Just to let you and the rest of the public know, we had our second personal site walk today, and it went. I felt even as nice but even better than our last one. We walked across the field over here, Memorial Field, down around the market and GFA, down across the street to the ball field, up in the back, and we followed the sewer easement all the way over to Stevie's project down there, and then back up and back up to the community hall. And the discussions from and Norm, thanks to you and your thought a long time ago about putting the crossroad, remove Wood's house.
Yeah.
And we had a discussion about that, as one of the ways of trying to, move traffic in town here.
Straighten the road out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a lot of ideas, They put a whole page full of stuff down. It was something. And it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens.
What I find funny is, under the what types of development do you feel Rutland Town Center needs less of? Single family, multifamily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like almost in the 60 or 70 percentile. Wow. Okay.
I got my place, don't want no one else.
Yeah.
Not in my backyard.
Business actually got a zoning change. That was sort of a pretty big one. Okay, good. All right, what's next? Master plan.
Okay. Yeah, we got a grant. Oh, what, I get $40,000?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how much money we got for the first half.
$50,000 the check was from MDC. Remember that huge check in the
Oh, yeah.
planning board?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So considering that was 20 years ago, that's.
Yeah.
A little less.
Yeah, quite a bit less, yeah. But it's a start.
Yes.
Yeah, and as you can see here, because of the budgetary constraints, we decided to do the master plan update in pieces.
Yeah.
That these are and these are what are usually and the leading elements. If you had to make a selection, a hard choice, you go after these because of the recommendations that can come from these would have a large impact. So, here we are. We're going to work on them as a phase. Go after these three. I believe that the open space is going to be updated on a 5-year cycle, so that's the 4th chapter. Then
But that's we just finished that not that long ago.
2017.
Pardon?
2017.
17, and it's good for 7 years.
Oh, okay. 7.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's a potential that it might be updated kind of close to what happens here. So that would be a 4th chapter. It's possible that some of the other boards and commissions might be able to help with updating on the other chapters, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Open space question?
Yeah, so the official publication date of the open space declaration was 2015. Even because we got sort of approval for it, even though we had to make a ton of changes to it, a ton of changes were done in 2017, but it was pre-approved in 2015. It's a 7-year plan. The OSRP changed to a 7-year plan, so we have to get a new one.
2022.
Yes,
It's 2 years out.
it's 2 years out, so we can start
Wow.
2021, which starts in a month and a half, 2 months.
So it's possible to sync these up.
We absolutely can do some work together on it. Absolutely.
Is there a committee for this?
Well, that means the planning board's screwed because of if you had looked in the open space, the number of things the planning board was supposed to have done, haven't done anything yet.
Well, David and I talked about this before, and that the OSRP and the old master plan were treated the same, is that they were thrown in a drawer, slammed, the door closed, and nobody looked at it again.
Right, the question is, what value is doing a plan like this if it's going to gather dust and not be implemented? So the solution here, and what's best practice, is to have what's called an implementation committee. So after the master plan is done, the implementation works to see what's happened year after year in terms of implementing the plan. So it's a way to close the loop, have some accountability. Are there things that are easy to implement, middle, more difficult? If it's more difficult, how do you do it? Do you get funding from town meeting, volunteer, who knows what? So it's a way to keep the process going and treat it as a living document, so it doesn't gather dust.
Is there a committee set up for this already?
No.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the committee like that next today's contract.
Okay.
About establishing that, actually be a subcommittee of Concom for the OSRP.
What about the master plan? Is there a committee for that?
So further discussions will be following in terms of how that's gonna be structured and organized.
Okay,
Right now, we haven't even signed the contract with the Regional Planning Commission. This is just the first notice to the public that we were successful in getting the grant. It's actually for more than 40,000. There's a match from the CMRPC of $10,000 to $12,000, and then there's an internal match from the town. So the whole thing ends up being something like $55,000.
excellent. All right.
So as
how much
things
is it-
develop,
How much
we'll-
is the open space gonna cost?
Cost us $0 a pocket.
Keep it up. All right. Number 11.
Interesting meeting this afternoon.
I'll talk about it after this.
Oh, no.
I've already registered my displeasure.
Oh, I gotta hear this. Yeah, me too. All right, so number 11.
Also,
All right.
adjourn.
No. Oh,
Ah, you're
man.
close enough.
I spent all that time putting together an email, which I never do.
so your items are, well, am I out of order with this? I have, there's this chapter 61, and then you had your email that I put out. Yours was on the agenda.
Oh, no, no,
The things that you
yeah.
submitted to me are on the agenda itself.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at number 8, thinking it was up there, and then I toggled down to 11. Hey, there it is.
So the things that you had in your email are on the agenda, page 3 or 4, under item 11.
Yeah,
It's not a separate cover sheet. that we have.
no, that's fine. I just wanted to get some stuff out there, and I'm sure I missed a ton. I just was throwing what I could think.
Anyway. Do we want to skip to the 61A?
Let's get that out of the way.
Okay, request to unroll land under chapter 61A. Anybody have any comments on that one?
Yeah, let's buy it.
Buy it.
It'd make a nice launching pad for an invasion into Holden.
Actually, it slides right into the reservoir.
It's even better. Launch a naval attack. I mean, I haven't been over there, or if I have, I don't remember it. Is that, I mean, is there any public use for the planning, future planning we could use that property for, or is it,
Not really.
that's what I was getting at. I'd say no if there's no potential use for it.
This is, you know, the Jarvis, end of the world, you might say, their corner.
Yeah.
I
All right.
believe that, I almost think that was the father's property way back when. What do you think it was?
Anyway, it's just a,
I call him the father, probably the grandfather.
I'd say it's more than anything a question of how do we want to construct our letter to the select.
Just if I could, if I'm not mistaken, that there's property in question there, the house on it,
Yes,
it's not vacant, I don't believe.
that is correct.
So it's not the ordinary case where it's vacant land that's under consideration.
Oh, there is already housing.
Well, there you go. We could move the historical society over there.
The Timmy's have it.
And then we can blow the historical society out and put the addition to the fire station there. I'm seeing it's a win-win. Let's buy it.
So,
I mean, this is one of these times, Norm, where it's between two pieces of property. I don't see an advantage to the town for it. That's my opinion.
so we send a letter to selecting,
No interest.
yeah, no interest.
Well, I guess I should go on the record. If there's a house there, that could be a office for the waste treatment plant in the back, right?
Especially with the discharge into Pine Hill Reservoir.
Yeah. No, I don't think that. Do we need a vote on this, or is it just
Yeah, I
basically?
think so.
I think we should.
Okay, motion to send the select board a letter indicating that the planning board doesn't see any town use for the property for 61A. or for it being taken out of 61A.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that one? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Dick Williams, aye.
Jim Narwhal, aye.
Marilyn Sedoti, aye.
Sean Moore, aye.
Norm Anderson, aye. Okay. Well, that kind of brings us to our
Business meeting.
subdivision topics. Okay, well, the one pretty obvious one is the islands and cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
We're just taking that out where we're at.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
I don't think we really need any discussion.
Nope, that needs,
So, phasing section.
we didn't have anything in our subdivisions about, like giving the builders any options on phasing. Because we always seem to put that in the orders of condition as adds, and I didn't know if it was something we wanted to put in there to, since we're getting into larger subdivisions, do we want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Encourage to phase?
Are you sure you want to phase?
Yeah. As it's been a while.
Yeah, I know.
I
I've been.
don't think we have any language.
There is none. That's what I looked through and tried to find. That's why I brought this up. I'm like, there's nothing in here. But we've been having the developers phase on almost
Well,
every project we've done.
Yes, and for them, there's good reason.
Yeah, it's stabilization for me.
Well, the thing is, they have to bond it. Can you imagine on lot subdivision, you have to bond the whole thing?
So that was the only thing I was thinking of. I didn't know if there was some wording out there, maybe a Holden or a something or somebody else's. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was a good idea to add to our subdivision regs, required phasing plan. Again, just thought.
Well,
I
it's
can
not
be
a bad
sure.
idea to think about it.
I just didn't have any language.
Yeah.
It's too bad there wasn't some other rural town around that's done a lot of phasing.
Holden would be the only one I could think of, and I don't know. I don't
I
know
don't
if there's
know.
subdivision bylaws. I'm sure I could probably get them someone online, but
But,
It requires some reason.
yes, it would.
I can take that one on and try to just do some Googling and see what I find on subdivision phasing.
Another easy one. What did we do with? The thickness, the paving.
Paving thickness, okay.
Is there already like DOT regs for the thickness of paving?
Sean took the words out of my mind. You think there's a DOT reg for, but they're gonna be on highways, right?
Yeah, highways.
And that sucker's gonna be 3 inches or more.
Actually, we received the recommendation from Carl at the site visit.
Yeah.
To have the total to be increased by an inch or something.
Yeah.
So 1.5 inches as opposed.
One of the
Oh.
finish.
Hey, we pay him for advice. Let's take it.
Oh, yeah, and I don't have any problem with that. What I don't know is if you maybe the basement.
Okay, I'll just do a quick, see if I can find Holden's and Paxton's and see if they've got anything in about their finish and base coat. I'll do that, finish base coat, okay.
And to me, I would like to find out from Carl his thoughts about so-called gravel bank run, dirt, whatever, and the sides of the rocks.
Oh, you mean the base? The base for the roads?
Yeah. Because it seems like all of a sudden, we're loaded with rocks in this town.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it's getting to the point where
Land, got it.
I'd be getting very nervous, flipping in, some good sizing. And eventually they'll keep working their way to the top.
Do we have any money to use Carl, for a couple hours of giving a list of questions and see if he could help us? I say we use some of these subdivision topics and just shoot them to Carl and get quick answers.
Which is what, like, for example, the monuments,
Yeah,
I asked him to give us some of the best practice examples that he could find, he gave them to the board.
I think we,
So I would work probably the same way here. Do you have any recommendations for some
Yeah.
of these topics?
I would probably, I'll look too, but it doesn't hurt to ask him about a good recommendation for base and, he's already given us a finished coat. But ask him that and then,
We can even ask him about pavement.
yeah, if he's got anything, I'll look too. I'm not gonna stop it. If Carl's got anything that he's run across in any other towns, because he does a lot of review for other towns. I don't think Rutland is only, Quinn's only.
I would like to know what other towns he might have.
Charlton, obviously, because he was working down there in Charlton.
A lot of buildings went over in Charlton.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to know how they're doing it. Or what they're doing.
the bounds is sort of, that's a moot point. We've already done that one. I added that in there just to make sure. Then the other one I had, which I don't think we put in, we agreed upon it, but the, like the requirements for drawing submissions, with, the, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
now.
I know.
I'm having a brain dead. Revisions, the revision requirements. We agreed upon it, but I don't think we ever enacted it, did we? We sent it out to the developers, but I think we should put it in the subdivision, details of how drawings, what our expectations are for submissions. Does that make?
I think that could become kind of interesting because we do have a section on modification, amendment, or revision of the plan approval.
What section is that?
There. 8B. The copy I wrote is on page 40.
Page 40.
We really don't talk about what our expectations are. We just say they have to do it. So,
I'm just looking at trying to get to the revision part.
it's section B. It's one paragraph.
Yeah.
Well, no, if you go over to page 42.
I just got what's on the web.
Acceptance of roads,
Top of the same page.
Okay.
42.
That's what it is on mine anyway.
Plan board agent or consultant
There you
engineer.
go.
Oh, here it
There
is.
you go.
At the time of change, the request of a red line plan shall be submitted to the planning board. And if deemed necessary, plan or properly revised plan showing the changes required to be. I don't like that red line. Maybe Norman, that's section 9. Somewhere in like, is this under field changes? Yeah, this is under, shall not authorize any changes. It's not a good place for that, it's,
This is thing is,
Oh, here's where it could go, Norm. Under supervision and inspection under C, it could go under number 2. After approval of the definitive plan, the board will notify the applicant of the address of the planning board as representing the form inspection is required. The applicant shall keep the planning board and its agent or consultant fully informed of status and progress of work through, and I guess maybe we could put, I don't know if you could stick it in there, how drawing changes, I don't know if that's the right place. Probably not.
no. And maybe I'm wrestling with the wrong thing here, but my big thing is our subdivision rules don't provide any clarity between a modification under section 81W versus a field change.
Yeah.
Now, state law doesn't either,
Yeah, we can be strict.
but
Yes, we can.
can we?
Yeah. Most generally.
Okay. Well, like I say, I don't know, maybe I'm wrestling with the wrong thing. I don't know.
I just want.
Well, the way this one is, number 2 is written, the applicant shall keep the planning board and its agent or consultant engineer fully informed as to the status and progress of work.
I mean, that's where we could put it
And
in.
how often do we get reports? We don't.
Well,
So what good is that sentence unless you, at the end there, or you will be fined if no monthly report is,
well,
I like shutdown.
yeah, shut down.
the thing is, the reports that we count on are from the
Carl's.
engineer.
Yeah, we do get, I mean,
And we've been down this road before.
I know it, and that's what I'm saying, that the way it's
And-
written,
And
there's no slap in the hand.
it never made it.
yeah.
Particularly, you go through a period of time that, oh, they're not doing anything. We still want a monthly report.
No,
You
it's a
know,
waste of time and
So
money.
that makes that,
Do we take 2, Norm, and put like an A there and put, call it drawing revisions? And then put in the what our expectation is? I don't know, I'm reaching because I don't see any other place to put it. Because you could put it under B, modifications, amendment, or revisions of definitive plan approval. I mean, do you call it B and then put a 1 and title it drawing revisions? Put in what our expectations are? It's a good place for it.
probably could.
Yeah.
Man, the supervision and inspection doesn't seem like a good area to put in requirements for drawings. That's why I was thinking B and then put a 1. And even title it drawing revisions definition. I don't know.
I'd have to think about this one a whole lot.
Okay.
Say it's,
I just wanted to get it, my big thing was getting it in the subdivision.
yeah.
I mean, A&Rs I don't care about, because anytime they modify it, they gotta come back to read and submit it, so I'm not worried about those. It's the subdivisions that I really need to get revisions on.
The on-the-fly review.
Yeah.
Now, like you had said, did Kyle see this in other towns?
We asked him about revisions, and he's the one who came back to us with, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, we asked Carl about revisions, and he came back with a suggestion for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just good, it's good bookkeeping to have them revisions, because otherwise we end up with 6 different plans, and which one's which. And the other thing I thought about, and I don't remember where it is, we did a definition of what our expectations was for submittals. You know, like, and maybe we need to start pushing towards electronic, more electronic. Because one time, I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it's section 3. Yeah, we asked for the planning board, you know, basically a 3.5-inch computer disk.
Oh, yeah.
And compact. We got to change that.
Well, yeah, that's,
So
I had to chuckle when I read that.
yeah, so I was thinking of D when I was thinking about that. Instead of a CD, we could put a PDF or CAD or CAD generated document. Computer, yeah, CAD computer. I don't know. I was thinking that's what I wanted on 1D to change. I don't know.
Tim, you mean computer animated design, CAD?
Yeah, that's CAD, and I don't want to specify what type of CAD because, you know, you can use inexpensive CAD to AutoCAD if you want, but if we say and or, I don't know. I think the PDF, and David, that's probably easier to store and work with as a PDF.
Yeah, I don't have CAD on
Right.
my computer.
God damn, that's going on the warrant. We need to get you a CAD program.
Like DPW, I'm not sure if DPW has CAD.
Yeah, I doubt they do.
The bang for the buck would be to get it from DPW with this CAD,
Yeah.
a CAD file.
That way, when Julian says it's, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got it sized correctly. What's what I'm looking for? 1 inch is scaled. It doesn't mean anything on a piece of paper.
No.
You've got to have the CAD program to get the scaling correct.
I mean, if the day ever came when the town was maintaining its own street layer
Yeah.
or GIS file, they would use a CAD drawing to create it in the first place.
But it might not be too far down the road as we accelerate into the larger community. I don't know. We could put and or in there, and then
Yeah,
you know,
the
require the
flexibility.
PDF, and then if they want to give us a CAD file, great. We give it to Chief Buckley, and then he's got a file at least.
Then would it be PDF with the CAD, PDF being required and CAD being an option?
Yeah, that's why I was going to put PDF and or CAD, and so that way it gives them the option of giving us CAD if they got it, but they have to give us PDF.
Yeah, that would be fine. As a matter of practice, we take the PDF.
Yep.
Because, you know, a disk.
Yeah, and with PDF, you can redline it, you can do all kinds of stuff to it and get it back to them. If there's comments or anything like that, Carl can do that. So, I mean, that's what I would suggest for, I don't even know if I had drawing submissions. Yeah, it was part of the drawing submissions was the revision and then the CAD base or PDF base. Yeah. So at least those two I wanted to get. I just didn't know where to put the rev because I didn't think it went in the application because that doesn't make sense. So that's why maybe it does go in section 8 under modifications.
Yeah, it almost has to.
You can make that into its own section.
You could do
Add
that.
a new section which just stands alone, does what it needs to do, and then these other sections would remain in effect as need be.
So you'd put it the section after modifications, just put drawing submission.
Sure, why not? That would be a convenient place to put it. I think
'Cause
section C.
Don't we have that already written up? And because didn't we send it out to all the developers? The revision requirements?
I thought we did.
I have to check on that. We do have the final version.
Yeah.
Final version was done.
Do you want to put that as a section after the modifications for discussion later? I mean, we're not voting anything tonight, but take that if we've already got it done and we sent it out.
Yeah. Once again, we just
Well, and again, I probably, Norman, tell me if I'm wrong. We come up with some of these. David, do you have a Word document for this? The subdivision bylaws?
Uh,
I'm sorry, subdivision regs?
I'm not sure.
You gotta find that out. 'Cause-
Yeah, you gotta get one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because we're gonna have to,
Yeah, really.
because Mr. Scanlon had it, was he the last one to modify this? We had him,
Adopted 10/12/10/2010.
yeah, 10 years ago, because we paid him to do some modifications for us to the
And
subdivision.
I'm pretty sure that was the last.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe it was 10 years ago. Suckers have put up with me for 15 years. Both of you longer, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
and, I don't know. Like I said,
You're
the reason.
27 for me.
What's that?
You're 27 for me. Your Norm's older than that.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You must be getting close to 30.
It's over.
Damn.
Over
Both of you combined are older than me. Well, like I said, I just wanted to get some stuff because we need to. I guess I wanted to. The business meeting is to get some of these out there and get them updated, and then have them review us maybe at the next meeting or a meeting after, and try to get some of this moving. Because do we have to have a hearing
Yeah.
for any changes? We don't have to have a town vote, but we got to have a hearing. So I'd like to get this moving, and I'll try to maybe get it done by the first of the year. Somewhere in the
When I start reading this again, maybe I've been working for 5 months. Okay. But
Don't work on that.
well, like when the top of this page 42, at that number 5, it says talking about changes.
Yeah.
It says the planning board agent or consultant engineer shall not authorize any changes, without specific approval,
Yeah.
except as follows. That's just weird. Nothing else, the way it's worded.
Hmm.
Okay, because then if you go down to A, it says the planning board agent or consultant engineer may authorize field changes subject to review by the planning board. If that person authorizes those field changes, by the time we meet, changes could already be done.
Yeah, but the next thing says shall respond by approving or disapproving the change within 15 days of the meeting at which it is submitted. So how can you authorize field changes, meet about it, and then submit it?
See what I mean?
Yeah.
The way some of the stuff is written. just not-
See, it should say no, the planning board agent or consultant may authorize field changes to be reviewed by the planning board at their next meeting. That's what it probably should say.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then the rest of it makes sense, because then it says respond by approving 15 days. I mean, you're right, that first sentence makes no sense.
Yeah.
And see, even the next one says the time the change is requested, the red line was
Yeah.
submitted to the planning board,
And that doesn't.
who will review the plan, stamp subject to approval, and sign it if approved, and submit to the planning board for review and signature.
Does anybody have a stamp that says subject to approval of the planning board?
I know a place in Worcester to get one made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
What? Wait a minute.
In addition to the red line.
Yeah.
Man, we could be a pain in the rear end to every development in town. That's not good.
So.
I kind of think we are paying in the, I kind of think we already are to most of them.
No, we're following procedure. That's the
Yeah.
one thing on my other committee I'm struggling with right now. So,
Well,
What we are saying is that we are going to have 3 sets of plans. We are gonna have the original approved definitive plan.
Yeah.
We are gonna have red line plans. And then in the end, we get as-built.
that's fine, because typically what you do is the red line plans, Carl would check those against the as-bills, and if
Yeah.
no red lines are there, if all the red lines have been picked up, you just throw that plan away, then you got the
Yeah.
definitive and the as-built.
Yeah.
That's typically how you do it, but lately we haven't been getting any of the above.
Well, that's what we just talked to Clea about tonight.
Yes, but he's gonna do it all at the end. He's taken all of the comments that Carl had and incorporated them in as-bills. And we probably should have been
Yeah,
getting
no,
those as
I'm talking about for our public hearing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well, I'm getting a little weary. I don't know about you people.
yeah, the only other one I wanted to ask about is the checklist.
I
Is
wanted
it-
to ask about HOAs, take it all out, period. It's not our
I read that,
jurisdiction.
Dick, I don't think we can do it.
Why is it our jurisdiction?
Because most subdivisions in the state of Massachusetts require it, if not all, and I don't know if that's state.
Require a HOA?
I'm almost,
When?
I would like to ask, I don't want to spend money on legal, but
To me, if something with HOA, to me, for crying out loud, that should be between the builder and the occupier of the thing. Not how the house is built or how it's laid in there.
well, no, in our zoning, that HOA gives the town, I shouldn't say us, gives the town some authority to basically, if they don't do anything, they let everything go to pot and open space, the town can come in, fix everything, and then bill each individual piece of property for the work that had to be done to fix it.
Correct. Just like they're supposed to have done up here on Lenny's piece of property,
Yeah.
never did.
And
So
that,
what use is it? To me, it's useless.
it's gotta be enforced, that's the
Then
problem.
then get it, but get it out of our deal. That should be in a whole complete separate.
Yeah, but if they do it between the builder and the homeowner, the town wouldn't have any recourse if they let it go to pot. That's where I liked it in the zoning is, again, if it happens, great, if it doesn't, but just think if, say, Bryce Lemon, for example, they have a homeowners, nothing happens, everything is overflowing in the streets, and Chief Buckley or whoever the chief is at the time has to go in and fix everything. The town's gonna pick that up. I can tell you there'll be a lot of taxpayers screaming, especially when they found out that the people in the subdivision were responsible for it. So that would give him, if he spent $20,000 doing it, each one of them, we divide the houses up, there's 80, let's make it easy. $10,000 worth of work, 100 houses, everybody's getting a $1,000 or $100 mechanics lien on their house till it's paid off.
Or it could be part of the tax base anyways, for crying out loud, and that should be done with, like we do with all the rest of them.
I'm not gonna go home and be able to sleep tonight if I go with that answer, because there's no money.
There's no money, period. Everything has gone to hell in this town, so
Yeah.
don't get me started, and,
Yeah.
but I'm just hating to see more and more regs thrown in here,
that aren't getting followed.
and for what? Is it to the town's benefit?
Yeah.
No, the town has to put more people on to keep track of it. But if it was the town's obligation to take care of all the catch basins, they're out there in the streets right now cleaning catch basins. Well, they should be involved doing that too.
You take away the HOA, you're taking away one of the 3 options that the builder has. So the only thing that's left is either the town takes it or the builder keeps it.
Or a non-profit organization he puts together.
LLC and then
I think,
disappear.
you know, I think the real crux of the problem is, I guess we're in agreement that open space subdivisions are a good idea.
Yes.
They do preserve open space.
Correct.
Well, here's the price. You
Yeah.
don't get anything for free.
Yeah.
If we're going to create the open space, you gotta pay a price somewhere.
The price.
Well, is that up to HOA or should that be up to the developer? When he sells a piece of property, you know, there is a certain aspect of this charge for this piece of property?
I don't think you'd find them doing an open space subdivision.
Probably not, but
We'll get back to the traditional subdivisions with no walking trails or no nothing,
No open space.
no open space. You know, I don't have a good answer for this. Dick, I agree with you. The open space is a freeing nightmare and it's not being enforced like it should be. But I don't think it's the planning board's responsibility to enforce it. I think it even says in here, the maintenance, if it's not done, the town of Rutland shall assess proportionately against each of the properties. Well, it's not the planning board, it's the town of Rutland, so, I mean, who
Right.
does that work would be the DPW, is my,
well,
and he'd have to work with,
prove it to me by doing it up to Lenny's, up to Brunel's.
yeah,
Get that fixed the way it was supposed to be. And let's see what happens. You want to see a hell rising up there by Deverell School, those people up there, because they never took care of the trails? And it's written in there for the town to take care of that and build the people?
There are so many open spaces in this town right now that have been damaged by that ice storm that should have been cleaned up years ago. I mean, it'll cost a fortune to get in there now and clean everything up.
What happened?
I don't have a good answer.
I don't either. But,
Well, I guess this was a good starting talk.
well, yeah. Hey, we actually kind of settled on a couple of things, at least the easy things.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to get some, we haven't had a meeting in 3 or 4 years, 3 years maybe. And I'm fearful that, well, maybe I'm not now with the elected government, but I was seeing a boom in housing starting this spring all over again, but maybe I'm gonna be wrong. I
Well,
don't
the
know.
interest rates are supposed to stay low until 2023. So the interest rates are driving housing.
Yeah.
People coming in for,
2.3% for a mortgage now?
yes, it's-
Yeah.
that's
I
not
mean,
gonna go up anytime soon, at least as predicted. Well, according to the economists, the Fed.
Yeah, we'll see how that works
Yeah.
out by July next year. Anyhow, I just wanted to keep,
We're just gonna have to, pick a time when we say, okay, we have worked some of these, and now it's time for public hearing, and maybe some of the real stickier ones. We will go include them, right?
there's gonna be a lot of talk. I mean, I agree with Dick, the HOA. I mean, maybe this is, at one of our meetings, we get Chick Buckley in here and go, listen, here's our problem. Some of us agree it needs to go, some of us needs to stay, but the biggest problem I think all of us are seeing is it's not enforced.
Well, this is kind of somewhere. I am pretty sure that Joe actually indicated he doesn't have a problem with taking
I think you're right. So,
However, I mentioned that to our new town administrator, and he almost said a word.
yeah, don't, I'm not taking that home tonight, because I'll tell you what, I'll get pans thrown at me.
Well, we met on the 5th week. Yes, December, March, May. May is what the big period. But,
Well, I think we.
You want to, Norm, just bite off like a couple things we have tonight, 2 or 3 of them, and get them ironed out.
in a final form,
Yeah.
you know, the cul-de-sacs, we can certainly, that's just, I think it's eliminating a paragraph.
Well, and if we, the base coats and finish coats, those are just number changes.
Yeah.
And,
We do want a final recommendation from Carl.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, maybe it would be wise to question from Carl the whole cross section of the roadway.
Didn't we have a detail on one of our,
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
Yeah.
just have a look at that and give us a comment on the whole thing?
Everything from, the base gravel, fine gravel.
Because that, Dick, that would cover you then for what you were looking for stone under there for support.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not, I think, and again, my memory is 10 years ago, but I think Mr. Scanlon looked at that at the time and said we were close to what DOT recommends for roads. And that was 10 years ago.
And I do remember police screaming about how much gravel we require.
Yeah.
yes. And then all of a sudden it was bank run or something like that, but it didn't say gravel in our reg, so that
Oh,
was.
River Rock or whatever that stuff is.
Yeah, it turned out to be just plain dirt, you know. And also, it's just seemed like lately I've seen too much stumps and other stuff ground and mixed in with the dirt.
Oh, that's gotta stop.
And to me, that's another thing that can be a problem in the future.
Well, we saw that over on that extension, Glenwood Place extension.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not a road, that's a private road, I get it, but we don't want that becoming anyhow, but then the other thing with the revision, we've already got it marked up, we just gotta find a place to put it and stick it in there. And, cause Carl's basically would have helped us get that one taken care of. But I think, in my opinion, is you just bite off one, instead of trying to do the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hey, we still got 3 hours to keep the girls.
Well,
Excuse me, can I ask a couple questions?
Ask away.
This is Nick Nugent from 9 Sedona Circle. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. I guess my recent question, I know we're kind of past the topic of Bryce Estates, but have you guys ever seen the town charge an HOA for work they deem necessary on open space that isn't owned by the town?
No.
No, like I said,
Nick,
they
in my
screwed up the
15
one
years-
that, the only other one that I know
Which is Brunel
of, Brunel.
West. Yeah,
Okay.
north of us, whatever. Yeah.
So I mean, it would have to be something drastic, like the open space encroaching the road, or
Yeah.
blocking pathways that are town and stuff like that.
Nick, that's what my question to Norm was. We need to talk to the chief and maybe find out how we're gonna get this to work. Cause we've got a lot of open space subdivisions out there.
Well, say your chances of ever being charged for something by the town and that open space are somewhere between slim and none. And closer to none than slim.
Okay. And just my other question, and it's in regards to Sedona Circle. I had sent a number of emails, including pictures, after a rainstorm and after the recent snowstorm. I'm not really seeing a response from the town or from Quinn Engineering about. There's a very clear low spot in the cul-de-sac, which is in front of my driveway and my neighbor's driveway, that isn't pitched to the catch basin for drainage. It's concerning. I have an email sent to Blair back on July 1st, 2019, bringing up the issue, to which Joel Blair assured me that they would fix it with the top coat. But these guys just came in and paved over the base coat that Blair subcontractors had done. This paving is supposed to be done using laser levels, and to avoid this problem. I get major rainwater built up in front of my driveway, which isn't as big of an issue as in the winter. I have, just major ice chunks and a sheet of ice directly in front of my driveway because it's not pitched correctly. Have you guys heard from Quinn Engineering to this issue? I think I've brought it up, numerous times.
Dick,
Is your if you're coming into the cul-de-sac, is your house on the left-hand side?
Yeah, it's the one on the left, like set back off the road about 9 o'clock position if you drive into the cul-de-sac.
Correct. Yeah, I remember them talking about that.
And it's concerning.
That he had gone over there and fixed it.
Yeah, they had gone in. They had fixed a couple. The transition from people's driveways into the road on the other side of the street, the even number houses. To me, this is a big project that I don't think that the Blairs want to deal with, because, like I said, the whole cul-de-sac is pitched in front of my driveway. Changing the pitch of a road is no small task, and to be honest with you, this problem is not going to go away, and I'm not going to let it go away. I'd like to see it done right. I'd like to see Blair do it done right, because if they don't do it right and the road gets accepted, then it's a town issue. Then it affects everybody in the town, as well as our tax money, and people are going to be curious why it wasn't addressed in the time is now.
What's his address?
Number 9.
Number 9. Okay, I don't see that in resolutions with Carl.
To me, in order to fix it, they're going to have to grind it and resurface.
Well, I don't know if they'll have to grind it and resurface. Most of the water on the other side, I'll call it the even side of the cul-de-sac, does drain appropriately. It's half of it that's pitched towards my house. If you guys talked about the binder coat, they have to add another half inch if it was not acceptable for you, further down. Can we get them to do this right? I'm kind of at the end of my rope here. I've sent a couple emails, and I know you guys are busy and have stuff going on, and I don't even know if this is, fully in your realm of jurisdiction.
That's what Google the streets.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the end of my rope. I don't know where to turn. I'm kind of helpless here, because they know, I feel that they know that this is an issue that is going to require a decent amount of money to fix and do it right. And I don't know, I just can't see how it's not noticed by Quinn. If they went out there with a laser level and said, yeah, this is a very clear low spot. I mean, you can see it when you stand in my driveway.
Yeah, it's
I remember seeing it.
Okay,
They pointed it out.
just to be perfectly honest, as far as I'm concerned, I was there, as was Mr. Williams and Mr. George, on that inspection tour that we did. The weather at that time was, at the very least, damp. There had been some small amount of rain, because we noted at the entrance of a couple of the driveways there were definitely puddles.
Right.
There was no puddle in front of your driveway.
Would you like me to send you the recent photos? I can email them, or
we got him.
print them and drop them off, or
what I am going to do myself is, the next rain we have, I'm going over there.
That would be great, because you just can't miss it. It's supposed to rain. Luckily, it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. I don't know how significant, but take a look at. I'm number 9, and my neighbor is number 7, and in front of his driveway is even worse.
So, like I say, when we were there, we did not see it, and that's why I'm sure our engineer did not make a note of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do we have for time before this is the town? I thought I recalled the town meeting being this month.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. So,
but this isn't on the warrant.
It's not on the warrant.
This will not come up for acceptance until June.
Okay. So we have time.
May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, if there's another special town meeting, I heard that might happen Yeah, they might have one in February or March.
Yeah, I mean,
Fire
it
guard.
would be great if you could take some time and come out here during a rainstorm. Like I said, I think the next 3 days is supposed to be pretty rainy because, you know, I see it.
I'm not
obviously
working
I'm
tomorrow.
not focused on it, but
I've got more time than smarts.
yeah.
I think that we probably should, you're gonna talk to Kyle anyways, and just let him know.
I gotta go see it myself.
I would appreciate that.
As opposed to what I do kind of administrator.
Well, personally, Kyle was writing his own review as we were walking through. So he may have written.
No, I'm looking, Dick, on ABS 3, which is Sedona. There's no comment about that.
No.
None at all. And there was a comment about Sedona number 4, driveway entrance at Ford is to be fixed to shed water, and it says it's resolved. It's been repaved. So
That
that's
has
the
been
only,
done, yeah.
that's the only Sedona comments in Carl's 54 that I see. I mean, he's got comments on Sedona, but nothing with anything about water.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if you come out here during the rainstorm, just take a look in front of number 7 and number 9, and
Okay.
it should be pretty clear.
I'll try, if it rains significantly, like I think tomorrow afternoon.
Supposed to be late tomorrow.
Yeah. So if somebody's coming through with a spotlight, that's me.
I'll be out there showing you too, so if I see you. So I got a good light.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Motion. Do we got anything else on the?
I have one question. Just before we go. Running else first.
I think we're pretty much at the sleeping mode.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing we'll do, 3 weeks ago,
I can't hear what Peter's saying.
We've got a meeting, Sean, scheduled for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
I would anticipate
Okay.
business for that meeting. I would anticipate some business for that meeting in A&R,
Okay.
some other things.
I'm good.
I mean, I don't,
I would expect it.
I'm trying to sway you either way. I'm just asking for more.
I think the answer is yes.
I think so.
I'll be back.
And if you don't wanna do it, we'll meet over in our own place.
Yeah, you don't have to tell
With
about
no
that.
TV, no cameras, no nothing.
And Tamika, you can have the night off.
so,
I'll take notes. Meeting open, meeting closed.
As long as that's done.
Yeah. I like that.
Dick was calm and satisfied.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And motion in a second. Any discussion?
Can we do it fast?
No.
Roll call.
Aye.
Williams, okay, now it's 9 o'clock.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
Marilyn Sedoti, aye.
Sean, aye.
We are adjourned.